The Chosen One's Journey by DragonWolf12. Brock was shocked. He beat me with a flying type. I'd better not underestimate him anymore, he thought to himself as he recalled his Geodude. Graveler, go! Brock threw this second Pokeball and released the evolved form of Geodude. Again, Ash pulled his Pokedex out to scan his opponent. Graveler, the rock Pokemon, and the evolved form of Geodude. A slow walker, it rolls to move. It pays no attention to any object that happens to be in its path. Alright, Pidgeotto, return! Ash recalled the bird Pokemon to her Pokeball. Pikachu, are you ready? Hell yeah! Pikachu said as he bounded to the field. So, he's using a Pikachu this time, Brock mumbled to himself, studying his opponent. Pikachu, start off with Quick Attack, Ash called. Pikachu shot off across the field with a trail of bright white light. Graveler, Defense Curl! Graveler tucked his limbs close to his body and curled into a tight ball, dramatically increasing its already staggeringly high defense. At the last possible second, Ash shouted, Switch to Iron Tail! In the middle of his run, Pikachu leapt into the air, and his tail took on a metallic shine. Using the speed he gained from Quick Attack, Pikachu swung his tail around and slammed it into the ball of rock. The force of the attack sent the rock Pokemon flying across the field. Unfortunately for Ash, Brock was ready for something like this. Use Magnitude! He shouted as Graveler flew through the air. Using the force of its fall to increase the power of its attack, Graveler slammed his fist onto the ground. Shockwaves erupted where Graveler's fist made contact, and the entire field started shaking, causing damage to an unprepared Pikachu. Oh no, Pikachu! Ash called in worry. Are you okay, buddy? He asked across the Aura Bond. Ouch! Pikachu groaned. That hurt, but I can still battle. Brock, who was now wondering if Pidgeotto's win was just a fluke, called out to Ash, Sending an electric type to battle a rock and ground type was a foolish decision. Although I commend you for teaching it Iron Tail, it still isn't enough to beat me. Ash was angry now. Save your opinions for after the match, he told the gym leader. Very well. Graveler, finish this with Rollout, Brock commanded. Graveler instantly curled into a ball and started rolling at Pikachu at high speed. Ash smirked as a plan formed in his head. Pikachu picked up on it, and a smile formed on his own face. Alright, Pikachu, use agility to dodge! Got it, Pikachu confirmed. Then he all but vanished as he started running around the field faster than the human eye could follow, appearing at different intervals on the field. Only Ash's aura-increased senses let him track Pikachu's progress. Graveler stopped rolling and looked around in confusion, trying to follow the elusive mouse. This is going nowhere. Graveler, use Magnitude again, Brock commanded. Graveler slammed its fist into the ground again, and the shockwaves erupted around it, causing the ground to shake violently. Ash could sense that this Magnitude was even more powerful than the previous one, and knew that Pikachu would not survive if he was hit. So he did the first thing that came to his mind. Pikachu, use your tail to jump above the field! Pikachu leaned back and used his tail as a springboard to launch himself high above the field. Graveler, use Smackdown! Brock ordered quickly. Graveler grabbed a large rock from the field and launched it at the airborne Pikachu. Pikachu, quick, defend yourself with Iron Tail! Ash called. Pikachu's tail took on a metallic glow, and he did a flip in midair, bringing his tail down and slicing the rock in half. Now, combine Quick Attack and Iron Tail, and finish this! Ash yelled. Pikachu shot down towards Graveler, almost too quick for the human eye to follow. At the last second, he did a front flip, and brought his tail down and struck Graveler right between the eyes. The rock Pokemon was sent flying across the field, and crashed into a large rock, kicking up a cloud of dust. When Ash used his Aura Sight to look at Graveler, he was shocked. The dust quickly cleared to reveal Graveler still standing up and ready to fight. The only noticeable damage was a small crack in its rocky skin where Pikachu's tail had struck. Both Pokemon were now panting heavily. The long battle had taken its toll on both of them. Ash knew that neither Pokemon would last much longer. A quick glance at Brock confirmed that he thought the same for Graveler. Okay, Pikachu, it's time to finish this once and for all. Use Iron Tail! Ash shouted. Graveler, use Mega Punch! Brock countered. Both Pokemon launched themselves at each other, Pikachu's tail taking on a metallic glow, while Graveler's fist started glowing. Both attacks met in the center of the field with a resounding crash and held each other in a stalemate. Suddenly, the energy from the two attacks reacted together, causing a massive explosion, catching both Pikachu and Graveler in the blast. The Pokémon cried out in pain as they flew across the field, which was now covered in a cloud of black smoke. When the field cleared, Pikachu and Graveler were both knocked unconscious. Both Pikachu and Graveler are unable to battle. The match results in a draw, the referee announced as he raised both flags. Pikachu! Ash shouted as he ran to the field. Reaching the yellow mouse, Ash gently cradled him in his arms. Are you okay, buddy? He asked. Yeah, I'm fine, Ash. You better win this catch-up, Pikachu replied in a daze. Ash smiled as he gently placed Pikachu next to him in the trainer's box. Don't worry, buddy. We'll win this battle. It's time for me to bring out the big guns, Ash said. You've put up a very good battle, Ash, but you won't be able to beat my last Pokemon. Go, Onix! Brock threw his Pokeball onto the field and unleashed his giant rock snake Pokemon. Ash stared at the large Pokemon and took out his Pokédex. Onix, the rock snake Pokemon. It tunnels through the ground, which shakes when it raises its thunderous roar. It can move through the ground at 50 miles per hour. Putting his Pokédex away, Ash gave a wide grin as he reached for his last Pokeball. Since you're so sure that you'll win, let's see how you handle this Pokemon, Ash said to Brock. Gyarados, to the battlefront! Ash threw the Pokeball, and his Gyarados emerged with a roar that shook the building. Gyarados' size easily matched the Onix's, and she stared down the rock type. Ash smirked at Brock, who didn't seem quite as sure of himself as he had before. Shall we continue? He asked the gym leader. Brock started. Yeah! Onix, use tackle! Onix coiled itself before launching at Gyarados, intending on slamming its horn into Gyarados' side. Gyarados, blow it back with Twister! Ash said. The atrocious Pokemon reared back as a violent tornado formed in front of her. Gyarados launched the Twister attack at Onix, who was brought up short by the suddenness of the attack. Now, use Hydro Pump! Ash shouted. Gyarados shot a stream of extremely high-powered water at the rock and ground type. The attack collided with Onix, and it roared out in pain, before collapsing on itself in a dead faint. The gym was silent for a moment, as everyone sat stunned at what had just happened. Finally, the referee snapped out of his daze and raised his flags. Onix is unable to battle. Gyarados wins, and the match goes to Ash of Pallet Town. Ash walked out to the field and patted Gyarados' side. Great job, girl. Thank you. She gave a grunt in reply as he returned her to the Pokeball. Once Brock had returned his Onix, he walked over to Ash. I was expecting a lot of things to come out of that last Pokeball, but a Gyarados was not one of them. That was a great battle, Ash, he congratulated. Thanks, Brock, Ash replied. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Brock asked. Ash nodded, and he continued. Why didn't you just start with Gyarados instead of Pidgeotto and Pikachu? In truth, I wasn't planning on using Gyarados at all, Ash said. Seeing Brock's shocked expression, he elaborated. You see, I didn't want to use Gyarados because that would have been too easy, and if I just used her for all of my battles, then none of my other Pokemon would grow, and it would also make battles extremely boring. Brock smiled. Good answer, he said. The gym leader started digging through his pocket before pulling out a simple gray octagon and offered it to Ash. In recognition of defeating me, I give you the Boulder badge. Thank you, Ash said, taking the badge. Just then, Misty arrived. Great job, Ash! That was a really good battle, she congratulated. Hey, thanks, Misty, Ash replied. Well, let's get to the Pokemon Center. I need to heal Pikachu. Hey, do you mind if I come with you? Brock asked. My Pokemon need healing after the beating you just gave them. Sure, no problem, Ash said. Together, the three of them left the gym and proceeded to make their way towards the city to the Poké Center. As they walked, Ash decided to ask a question of his own. So, Brock, do you enjoy being a gym leader? Oh, yeah, it's great, Brock said, but Ash could tell he was leaving something out. Finally, after a moment of silence, Brock sighed and continued. To tell you the truth, what I really want to do is become the greatest Pokemon breeder in the world. So, what's stopping you? Misty asked. Brock gave a great sigh. Well, you see, I have 8 younger brothers and sisters that I'm taking care of at home. My parents are both out of town, and I can't just leave them behind." "Well, that's a bummer," Misty commented. "Yeah," Ash said. "Well, if you ever get the chance to travel, you're welcome to come join us." They had just arrived at the Pokemon Center, and Brock and Ash walked to the counter. After dropping off their tired Pokemon, Brock turned to Ash. "Thanks for the offer, Ash. I might just take you up on that," the older boy said. "Good luck on the rest of your journey." "Thanks, Brock," Ash replied. "Good luck with your dream, too." Once the gym leader had left, Ash walked over to Misty. She was hanging out in the trainer's lounge. "So, I was thinking of heading over to Cerulean City next," he said to her. Misty stiffened upon hearing about her home city. "Why would you want to go there?" she asked. "Well, I need to challenge the gym," Ash replied. "So, will you accept my challenge?" Misty's eyes snapped to Ash, and she looked startled. "How did you know I was the gym leader?" she stuttered. Ash looked at her funny. "I was standing right next to you when you told Officer Jenny and flashed your badge in Viridian City." The redhead visibly relaxed as she remembered the incident. "Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot about that." "So, how about it?" Ash asked again. "Will you accept my challenge?" "Challenge," Misty mused as something came to her. "Badge, yes!" Misty jumped up and began rummaging through her bag while Ash watched in confusion. "Aha!" Misty said triumphantly as she pulled a blue teardrop-shaped object from her bag. Turning to Ash, she said, "I always carry a few spare badges with me when I travel, just in case." "Okay, cool," Ash said, his voice laced with confusion. "But what does that have to do with my gym challenge?" "I really don't want to go back to Cerulean City and deal with my sisters right now," she explained. "So here's what we're going to do." The next morning, Ash and Misty were making their way out of Pewter City when they heard a voice cry out from behind them. "Hey, Ash, wait up!" the voice called. Turning, Ash saw Brock running after them, a large backpack on his shoulders. When he caught up with them, he stopped for a moment to catch his breath, panting hard. After a minute, he said, "It turns out that my dad has been in town for a week now, trying to gather the courage to come and see me. He heard our conversation yesterday, and finally came home to take over the gym so that I could travel." "That's great, Brock," Ash said with enthusiasm. "So, are you going to join us?" "Yeah, if you don't mind," Brock replied. "Not at all," Ash said. "So, where are we heading?" Brock asked as they continued their trek. "Vermilion City," Ash replied. "Vermilion? Why not Cerulean City?" Brock asked. "It's much closer, and you'll need to get a badge there to compete in the Kanto League." "Don't worry," Ash said, glancing at Misty. "We've got that covered."